Hey, I'm Haley.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're listening to
Personality Hire, the podcast where I have my glasses on today. And sometimes I wonder what it would be like to go a full day without my glasses or contacts. Because, you know, if you are deprived of one sense, apparently,
the other ones get stronger.
Like your other senses can kind of kick in and take over and help to, I guess, compensate. So
I think sometimes I am hard of hearing, as we know, and I think my vision could be better. And I also think my sniffer, maybe it's because I work with kids a lot and I have a German Shepherd, but I feel like my nose is not the same. I feel like I could sniff better.
My nose, I think this is because of perimenopause, has been off the chain. I can smell
everything,
outer space. Like,
oh my gosh,
know what Uranus smells like. Like, I know what Uranus. I know what everything smells like. But I really and truly, like, you're gonna see these little marks on my eyes, whatever. Like, I cannot see worth a dang. Actually, I'm gonna tell you my prescription. I'm gonna be so raw and honest, and some of you are gonna be like, that's not that bad, and then some of you are gonna be like, how are you alive? It's like negative 3.5 in both eyes. And then I also have, again, we know, astigmatism because I have my squeaky eye.
Yes.
But if I don't have on any contacts or anything right now, I am immediately sent into panic that I can't hear you as well. Like,
is it kind of like when you're looking for an address and you have to, like when I'm driving, I have to turn the radio down so I can see?
100%.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think because since I can't see, I'm so focused on that lack of sense that it makes me have to concentrate 10 times harder to hear.
That makes sense.
Touch feels like that's not connected.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Taste wouldn't be able to be connected, but my sight and my hearing feel very connected. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just wonder sometimes if I went a whole day, because I have had glasses since I was in 6th grade, because I almost failed 6th grade, and my parents had to go in for a conference, and they said, she's going to fail this grade. We need to figure out what's going on. And I said, yabba dabba doo, I can't see the board. I can't see the board. And then I got glasses, and then I was back in the game.
What time of year was that? Because how do you catch up if you can't see a whole like semester worth of
it was definitely like knowledge. Middle of the year. Like, it wasn't
that's
like
scary.
It was public school, baby.
I know. I went.
It was just,
girl.
And also I was very I wasn't very outspoken, or I wasn't very teacher petty, and I didn't really like raise my hand a lot. So she just
especially in middle school, no one wants to be looked at. Do not perceive me. I'm not here.
And she just thought I was like a little bing bong girl, which rightfully so. I truly never gave her any other reason to think
you were a bing bong girl.
I was a bing bong girl,
but you also couldn't see.
I couldn't see the board, and
your bing bong couldn't see.
They took me to the eye doctor, and I got glasses, and I came back, and I was like, oh,
you were like, oh my gosh, you have red hair.
Oh,
so you have 2 eyes.
Maybe one day,
seeing one
day for fun.
Don't drive that day. I know what you're going to do, but don't drive.
You can cart me around, and I won't wear contacts. I won't wear my glasses.
We'll do a YouTube video, and we'll vlog
and
it.
We'll just see what I get up into, and how much I have to rely on you. Like my seeing eye, Haley.
Okay, we'll do it, and then we'll do another day where I just wear earplugs and I won't hear a thing, but I think I'll be fine.
And honestly, because Jesse.
Yeah, I just read lips most of the time anyway.
Do you?
Yeah, like. People always be like, you're staring at my lips. Why are you looking at do I have something in my teeth? And I'm like, sorry. I'm just used to watching people's mouths.
You're like, I cannot hear, but I can lip read.
I have to focus really hard when like I'm filming something. It's not as bad when it's a audition because they're at a distance where you don't know what I'm looking at. So I could be looking at their mouth or their eyeballs, and I know what the lines are.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's okay, but when it's like a cue that I need to hear for theater, I think it was more of a problem, to be honest. I would just have to really be looking at people's mouths. Yeah, locked and loaded.
I also know too, if you are hard of hearing or you're deaf, that's also just a huge skill to have, to be able to read lips. Like, that's probably the most important, aside from maybe like learning, you know, I don't know. It's almost like that is such a huge part of your life to learn how to read lips. And I can't imagine if you're going through life needing to rely on that. Like if somebody has a big beard, or if they have like
or
thin
they cover
lips,
their mouth.
like what if they have like tiny little lips, or like what if they cover their mouth, or whatever.
It's the shape that your mouth makes. And also if
or you have an
know
accent,
the person,
like a weird accent.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say next. If someone, obviously if they're speaking another language, I still can't hear you.
Wouldn't know either way.
But I would love to know your language. I just don't know it. But looking at people's lips, like, the lip reading videos of like celebrities, I eat those up because I'm like, this is my Super Bowl. Like I'm always right when they tell me. I was like, I knew it. I knew what they said.
I already knew it.
Restaurants are really fun for me.
Dim lighting,
people watching.
Oh, I thought
being
you meant
able to. I know what's going on at the next table. I don't need to hear them. I can see them.
You can
see them
read
lips.
the tea.
Yep, that's pretty good.
Honestly,
don't tell secrets around me. I'll see it. I won't hear it.
That's fun though.
Even if you're talking directly to me, I will not hear it, but I will see it.
Yeah, that's a superpower for sure. That is a really good skill that you have. I like that a lot.
It is a nice one.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. It's funny, you sent me that video on TikTok about that girl going in for an ADHD test, and she started crying within the first 2 minutes because she was like overwhelmed. She didn't know.
Because she said
she thought she was going to go get tested for autism.
She said, I thought this was an ADHD test. And the woman was like, no, you signed up for a test for autism.
Oh, yeah.
And then she lost her absolute shit and like was freaking out.
And then she was like, we can do the ADHD test.
Yeah.
But she was like, you definitely have it.
Yeah. She said, because based on that reaction alone, like what I just saw you go through the 7 stages of grief, like in front of my eyes, like you've got
issues.
Yeah.
But she also was saying, she was like, the doctor who she was speaking to was like, I'm surprised you made it through all of schooling. And I think about that all the time. That's just like what people did. Hello, I went through all of school and I thought that I was dumb because I had to work so hard in school, especially in physics, math, and science. And I am a woman in STEM these days. So, and I just always look back at that, and especially when I see choices that people make or like whatever, I'm like, I wasn't stupid.
No.
In fact, I think I'm smarter than a lot of you cats. I just have a bing bong brain and I like to jump around.
I'm feeling bold today.
I'm scared.
I'm feeling bold. So I haven't said this outright on the podcast, but I have been experiencing a spectrum of emotions for a long time now. A lot of it related to the fact that your girl finally got diagnosed with ADHD. I didn't know that I had it. And now that I know that I had it and I went through the testing and I have an official diagnosis from a licensed professional, my whole life is making a lot of sense. And she said something similar to me, which is why I sent that video to you of that woman, because she said to me through our testing, they reference your childhood so much, because if you do in fact have ADHD, you will have had it since you were a child. Like that is like, it's not something you can come to acquire. Like it's something that you have that is inside of you at birth and then whatever. But in women specifically, it goes undiagnosed or undetected a lot. And she said to me, I really want to tell you that it's impressive that you made it through school and specifically college without any concessions, because a lot of people, they need more time to take tests, or they need special environments to do their work, or they need a prescription, like whatever. She said, I want you to understand that that is something to be commended on, that you had absolutely no concessions going through school and that you've experienced this condition your entire life. And I'm not going to lie, since finding this out about myself, my head is still a whirlwind of lots of different things, mainly depression, which is fine. I'm working on that. Don't worry about me. I am in the middle of working on that. But the biggest thing is me being like finally seen by somebody going like, you're damn Skippy. I didn't have anything helping me. I didn't even have a pencil grip.
Listen,
I didn't have extra time on a test.
I didn't find out till my senior year of college, and I still didn't get help for it.
No concessions, baby.
I didn't find any help for it because I was like, well, I've come this far. And it was my senior year, and I was just like, I'm not going through all the paperwork and doing all the stuff. I've been fine, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend being fine. I think that's a quality of mine that I sometimes will be like,
I'm fine.
I'll get through it.
I'm fine.
Because I have proof, because I'm here still. But I don't think we should put her, like, I wouldn't recommend that to you or a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it does, I think it
or
is.
a daughter or anyone.
I think it is, though, very big firstborn girl energy to be like, I'm fine. I'll get through it. No, I'm good. I've got this. You know, when in reality, you might not.
You might not. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually love my ADHD now. Did I even say ADHD just then? I said ADHD.
No, I was honestly thinking in my head that it was kind of a cool way that you're like, I love my ADHD.
I didn't mean to. I think that's ADHD. I'm kidding. I actually don't. I think that's
if
just
we were doing an ADHD commercial.
Ha.
And
I'm
you
Hilary,
were...
and I'm Jesse. We're twins. Which one has ADHD?
ADHD. Trick question. We both have do.
It. That would be good. Wow. I love it.
But if you are a pharmaceutical company and you're looking for 2 new faces of ADHD, we could be it.
Girl.
Just let us know.
Girl.
Let us know. Hit me up. I'm on the request line.
DJ, please. Okay, so speaking of us being kids and childhood, whatever, bounced around. Okay, I have Hilary Duff on my shirt today.
Oh yeah, girl.
This is my Hilary Duff concert t-shirt from when I went to a concert, I don't know, fourth grade,
authentic.
4th, 5th.
That is authentic.
Yes, this is a girl's large. I just have to say that because I was like, why is this shirt so small, but it has a large on it? And then I was like, oh my gosh, I was a girl when I got this. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm still just a girl, which brings me to the point, Hannah Montana forever. I feel like I just have to talk about this on the podcast because it is such a gift from Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, and God to me. And Hilary Duff coming back on tour. I'm not going to be able to go see any of these people.
The Hannah Montana stuff, you got to let me know what's going down. I never watched the show. I think I was just slightly too old for it. And so I don't know what's happening then or now. I understand the concept of the show was that she was leaving a double life and that she had the best of both worlds.
She did.
Yes. But now what's happening?
Miley Stewart was just a girl. And her mom is also dead.
Her last name on the show was Stewart?
Yeah, Stewart. Yeah. Billy Ray Stewart.
Oh my God.
Her dad was her dad in the show, Billy Ray Stewart, and he wrote all of her songs. Yes. And she had an older brother named
Stewart.
Yeah. And she had an older brother who was 15 turning 16 in the show. And he was actually a 30-year-old boy, man. And typical. I love him as an actor. Like justice for him. I think his name is Jason Earls, or is that the other guy who was on Hannah Montana? Let's not talk about it.
He was 30, but he was mentally 16, so that clocks. That checks.
Well, yeah, like in boy years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this show just was everything to me. I think any show as a girl with someone who was born for bigger and was a pop star or an actress or like any of that, I was like, me. Like I was Elle Woods finding out I got that internship. Me. Like it was so important to me. It was so important to me, and I would not be an actor today if it weren't for all of those Disney shows that gave me delusion, including Lizzie McGuire, who just talked to herself all day, every day.
I was a big Lizzie McGuire girly.
Love Lizzie. I still dress myself in the day, and I'm like, what would Lizzie do?
Well, you know, WWLD.
She still dresses like, oh my gosh, I still look back at all of Lizzie's hairstyles, the half crimped, I always thought, did she wake up early before the bus came and did her hair like that? Because every day her and Miranda were slaying the house down boots.
Same with the Olsen twins too. Remember they would do that like kind of half crimpy situation. Yes. But also I recently told you that it is on my to buy list of low rise lace front jeans, and that is because of Lizzie McGuire. Right now. I saw. Mm-hmm. That's because of Lizzie.
Yeah, it's because of Lizzie. So Hannah Montana forever. It's the 20-year anniversary of Hannah Montana, and Miley Cyrus is doing this reunion thing. I'm very confused at what it's actually going to be. It's going to be on a stage. They're going to rebuild sets. They're going to talk about behind the scenes stuff, which I'm sure will not be juicy. But Miley, I'm begging you, make it juicy, sis. Alex Cooper of Call Her Daddy is going to be hosting it, which I'm excited for Alex Cooper because she watched Hannah Montana, but I wish it was Jake
So
Shane.
it's a special? Like it's
a
like
special.
a
It's going to be a special. My thing is we're begging, and I think the world needs, but America needs, like the gold medals that we've received this past few weeks. We need joy. We need Hannah Montana to sing. We need Miley Cyrus to do a full concert reunion. I want it stripped down. I want it like backyard sessions. Did you ever watch her backyard sessions? You would dig those.
I did a couple times. That was when she was in her earthy girl, crunchy era.
It was like her animal.
I know there was
era.
one she did with like Ariana Grande.
Yes,
too.
so good.
I did.
And there was like sitting on blow up furniture and like onesies.
Both taken several edibles, and
Probably.
I loved it. It was great.
Yes. Also, that reminds me, I would, like when Miley first started getting wild, I always had her back. I was like a freshman in college being like, this is an act. She's an actress. Well, she's trying to break out of her Disney stuff, which she was, but she was also on drugs. And I was vehemently sure that she did not take any hallucinogens or anything.
Any elixirs.
Yeah, any elixirs. I was like, no, Miley is a hard worker. She's a talent. This is art.
When she came in on a wrecking ball, when she was sitting on that wrecking ball,
I didn't.
That is around the time. That's around 2013, and that's around the time that I met Matt, and we were discussing our celebrity crushes. I'll be damned if that man didn't say Miley Cyrus. He loved her. He loved her.
I love Matt Bacon.
I said, you just love a little freaky frack because she's sitting on a wrecking ball. She's swinging back and forth.
And she's stunning.
And that's freaky and you like it. And he basically said, yeah.
I wasn't thinking it was that freaky. I was thinking more like
he loves her voice though. He loves the pipes. He's big on the pipes.
She is an insane vocalist.
Absolutely. No, for the record, I think Miley Cyrus.
I think everybody thinks she's talented.
I think she's so talented. I think she's probably a really fun hang.
Oh,
and I think she's really pretty.
Oh, gorgeous.
And anyone whose godmother is Dolly Parton, you're fine by me.
Smiley Miley. I'm so happy. And when I saw that she was, and also she ran from Hannah Montana for so long, which I understand why she did. It was, I'm sure being a child star is incredibly dramatic, which again, takes me back to my childhood when I was so mad at my parents for not letting me join John Roberts Powers, Don't Sue Me, fake talent agency that tried to charge them astronomical amounts for me to take acting classes because I wanted to be an actor since I popped out my mom. I'm not kidding. So bad. But Hannah Montana was a part of that. And I was like, I want to do this. And they were like, you can decide when you're an adult, when you're 18. And guess what I decided? And
you said, I'm the
scared.
Best of both.
And I really should have, I should have started younger. Anyway, but so Miley Cyrus is going to do this reunion. It has not been fully announced if she's going to sing, which I think it would be a travesty and a huge mistake not to. So I think she's going to. I just don't think they've announced that part yet.
1,000%. And the get up that I've seen her in lately, she's 1,000% going to sing.
I need it like
she absolutely will.
I kind of want to hear her do all of them her way. And I want you guys to know that I still listen to Hannah Montana. I'm not kidding. I'll be in the car and I'm like, I need to vibe.
I didn't know that Hannah Montana had like that big of a catalog to listen to. Did she tour as Hannah Montana?
Yes, she did. Okay. Miley Cyrus. It was the Meet Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana tour. I went twice. Okay. I saw Allie and AJ open up for her and the Jonas Brothers open up for her.
Wow.
Yeah. I am the luckiest girl in the world to go to those concerts.
I've said this before, but I'm a late in life Joe Broho, and that would have been something to behold, I'm sure.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. They were, catching the love bug again, They were burning up for you, baby. They were doing those things.
Is that around the era where they were like, red dress?
Yes. Okay. Red dress. Yeah. Okay. It was that era. It was the only era. No, they have a new era now. I will admit that. They're doing
their Zaddy era. I'm cool with that.
Those zanies. And you know what, Kevin, good for you. I love Kevin's new song. Kevin Jonas. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head right now.
Well, I like that he's stepping out on his own and he's saying I can sing now.
And we
always knew you could.
Well, obviously you've had years of training. If you can't sing by now, I don't know how we've gotten here. I know he can sing. Also, I've got to talk about Hilary Duff going on tour, coming out with a new album. I'm so excited about it that I'm just stuttering, because Hilary Duff makes me so happy doing all of this, especially all of her very honest interviews now about even family. Like, I'm like, way to go, sister. People need to know that, like, I don't know. I just think it's so responsible to be like, yeah, family's complicated, because I think people try to keep things private, which I respect and I understand. But when you have a platform and you're a performer, sometimes, and I'm not saying you have to give up all of yourself to everyone, but I am saying that it comes with responsibility of being a human to other people, especially if you want to be a personality. Like, if you keep putting yourself out there in certain ways. I'm not talking about, like, Meryl Streep isn't trying to do interviews, isn't trying to bop around, isn't trying to be seen and, whatever. So, like, I don't think it makes sense to get to know her in that way. But I think it's really cool that Hilary's talking about, like, even like,
I like that she's taking the approach of, sometimes when you ask artists about what songs are about, they're so cryptic, or they really just beat around the bush and they go, that's personal, whatever. I love that they're asking her what these songs are about, and she's like, yeah, this is about my sister,
because that's art,
and we do have a tumultuous relationship, and I don't know if she's going to hear this or not, or,
and I'm sad,
or this is about my dad, and we also have a tumultuous relationship. Like, she is,
and I still love them,
and she said, this is about my, this is about my husband, and sometimes I'm insecure about him, like all those things that we all feel to some degree. And she's not playing this coy kind of weird character about it. She's
not being a cool girl about it. She's just being very cool.
She's point blank saying what the songs are about, and I like that.
Yeah.
So I understand sometimes there's innuendo in songs, and I do like that from certain artists, where it's kind of like you can read between the lines and you can make your own meaning to it, which I think is important.
Yeah.
But with songs that are like so purely pop, like this, where her lyrics are so pointed and there's not a lot of like interpretation to them, I'm like, just tell me who this is about. And she
also, we do be knowing, so it's nice to not have to.
And she
wonder.
is, and she's confirming, and I really like that.
I love it. And also that she's embracing her Lizzie McGuire by singing like what dreams are made of, but doing it in her
doing
wear.
The dance.
Yes, like, way to not be in. This is what got you here. And I like that she talks about who she was then to who she is now, and what the song means to her now, and fully, like, making it. It's kind of like, it's like Taylor's version. That's what it reminds me of. It's her reinventing the song, not changing anything about it, but now it's done in a new way, because she's in a new place and she can read the lyrics and feel the lyrics in a different way. I know that sounds like, whoa, but is it art? Like, but I mean, like, it's so, I love when people embrace the full circle of it.
I think it's too, it's an interesting study that we're seeing both in like Miley Cyrus and in Lizzie McGuire right now for women our age too, because it's an interesting study in how you choose to embrace decisions you make in the past, or your past selves, when you don't know what you don't know now, and whatever, how you choose to embrace and sort of extend kindness to that version of yourself can really shape how you feel about yourself in the future. And if you do decide to embrace it, as opposed to saying, that's not who I am, I would never do that now, whatever, it kind of builds this bigger picture of who you are in like totality that I find really refreshing, as opposed to completely saying, I'm a brand new me at 35, 40 years old, whatever. It's like, you are to some extent, but in reality, all this before you shaped you, and let's maybe try, if you haven't, to embrace it, as opposed to completely shunning it. And I like that they're
being
doing
embarrassed
that.
about it.
But that's brave to do.
It's brave, but it's also so human. It's like, so it's real. It's how I feel every day. I feel every day like the same person I was when I was 4, but just grown up. I have the same like passions. I have the same qualities. I think there was some point, and I was thinking about this morning when I knew I wanted to talk about this. This morning I was thinking about, there was a time in my life where I push down these childlike, or, you know, like the Hannah Montana lover or whatever. I don't know if I really pushed it down where I didn't talk about it, because I still dressed up as Hannah Montana in college. Like I wasn't afraid to be me ever. But there were times where I thought I had to push that stuff back because it was silly or it wasn't art, especially like coming into Atlanta and starting to hang out with a lot more, I would say, culturally sound artists, like just people who are more well-rounded in that way, like coming from New York and like, you know, this is all good. This is all good. Being around a lot of different people is important because the world is a lot of different people and you need to have that perspective of, you know, but I felt like at one point that it wasn't cool or it wasn't real for me to say that, you know, when I think of acting and things that inspire me, that like Hannah Montana is one of those things that has always inspired me. And it's not just Hannah Montana. It was that show, but it was what Miley did with her art and what Lizzie and Hilary Duff did with her art and how she evolved her career. All of that is inspirational to me because it does show not a full circle because they're still here.
Their character arc,
yeah,
who they are
like,
now.
Yeah.
I think it's cool too.
And I love that.
That for me anyway, the way that I like to think about it too is that my childhood was never documented the way that theirs have been, obviously, because they're public figures. But also, I think that it's cool for kids to see how they're embracing that catalog of work now, because kids now are online via social media. Their whole lives are already on display, and they already have different things that they can look back on that I don't have. Like, I don't have embarrassing pictures the same way that maybe some of these other kids are going to have embarrassing pictures or phases they go through or things that they like. So I think it's cool to see adults now going, I do have an entire phase of my life that has been chronicled online and otherwise, and I'm embracing it, because these kids that have social media now, their whole lives are chronicled in a similar-ish way, and they can also go, I'm embracing that phase I went through. I'm embracing that event I went to or that band I liked or whatever, because it's out there and I don't have to change it, or like you're saying, try to push it away when you're evolving, because the evolution is important, but you can keep those pieces with you along the way to remind you, or to also like inform who you're becoming, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I feel. And I just think it's so cool. And I think it's important also for people to see Hilary say, I mean, Hilary has, I believe, 3 children or 4, maybe.
Because she was married to that hockey player and had one son.
Luca, and that's
and
Luca.
I think she has 3 small children.
She has 3 with Matthew McComa. Is that his name?
I think Coma or
yes.
Matthew is his first name.
Matt. He's also a Matt. Hilary Matt. But I think her showing millennial women and all women that, look, your life doesn't stop when you become a mom. And I realize I'm speaking on incredible privilege of being able to hire help, having the financial freedom that she does. I understand that. Also, the already built-in platform. And she is from a generation that loves nostalgia. So we're obviously going to eat that up. But I don't think that any of that is affecting the lesson that you can always reinvent yourself. You can always step back in to whatever the old thing that you used to do was, that you can take a break and always come back. And I love that. I love that she's showing that she's bringing her, like, to her new album, she's bringing, I'm a mom, I'm a woman, I am a wife. She's bringing all of these things that it's not like, it doesn't change who she is. Yeah. But yet it has changed everything at the same time, if that makes sense.
I like what you just said about it being an example of you're able to go back to things, and you can go back to who you felt really confident as in the past, because sometimes you don't realize that who you want to be, maybe not even who you're meant to be, but who you want to be is maybe like a past version of yourself. Like
Yeah.
whether that means a career you had or something fulfilling you were doing, and you're allowed to, and you should be encouraged to go back. I think we put so much emphasis on the moving forward, especially right now, I think for the mental health space and all the messaging that we hear about pushing forward and continue to forging your path, but it's always in the direction of ahead. It's cool and refreshing to think that we can go back. Like it's totally fine to backtrack.
Also, not only that, it's still moving forward. It's moving forward and taking what you know and taking what you know is what you need and moving into a new version of that old self. And for me, I find it really inspiring because one of my dreams is to become a mother. But obviously, one of my other really big dreams is to professionally act as I'm doing and keep grinding. And if I would have known, and I'm so glad I didn't know, I'm going to be honest, I'm really glad I didn't know when I was watching Hannah Montana how hard it was going to be and how much work I was going to have to put in, because that would have scared me. And maybe I knew, but I didn't know how it felt. So I was like, whatever, I know it's going to be hard. I knew it was going to be hard. Girl, I didn't know how hard. I didn't know. Look, I'm 10 years in and still grind and nose to the grindstone. And I know it never stops. The grind never stops. But I kind of felt as if once I become a mom, if I haven't, I'm doing bunny ears, the quotes, if I hadn't made it yet, that I would never make it. And that is simply not true. It is simply not true. And I'm watching examples of how that is not true all the time. And I realize these people were in the spotlight before, but there are other examples too. The woman who's the lead opposite of Glenn Powell in Chad Powers, I'm blanking on her name, I'm so sorry, but she gave birth to twins like 2 years before she booked Chad Powers. You know what I mean? And this is the first time I'm seeing her. I know she was acting before, but I've been acting. So it just makes me think that I don't have to rush myself. I don't have to put this timeline or this timer on my career or being a mom, because if it's meant to be, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. It may not play out the way I thought it was going to when I was watching Hannah Montana, but I do believe when I see that, when I see moms jump back into it, I'm like, I'm dang sure. I don't know when, but I'm going to be fine. And I will be acting for the rest of my life. When I see that, it reminds me that I don't have to give up any dream to make one of the others happen.
Especially if you have...
Because there's obviously a biological clock.
Especially if you have a good partner.
Yeah.
That is so important. I cannot stress that enough to young women. I think that everyone knows that, objectively, you know that. But if you have a really good partner, you will be able to do in motherhood anything you could have done outside of motherhood.
Yeah.
So that's important too. And if you are doing it alone, you can still do it in motherhood. Yeah. You absolutely can. I just mean if you're wondering, I don't know, that's just something to think about.
No, I have
when you're
friends.
choosing a partner, it's just really something to consider and asking them beforehand, before you have children, asking them, when we have these kids, how are we going to divide and conquer? Because I got shit I want to take care of still. It's really important that's a baseline thing. But again, if you are a single mother or single father, it can also be done. I'm just putting in a nickel for nothing. No, it's that's also an important conversation about all of this too, having the right people around you who are going to help you to do that, because obviously being a mother is 24/7 all the time. Your brain is consumed. But I mean, I think on our first date, Justin and I talked about it, and also remember when I went on my first date with J-Dog, I was like, I don't give a fudge. I'm just learning how to date again. I don't care what he thinks. So I'm going to lay it all out there right now. And luckily, he was fine with it. I mean, or unluckily, because, I did not care. But even now when I have freakouts, especially now that, I'm going through this new journey in life called grief, I have freakouts more often than I did before.
Who would have thunk? I didn't know I could, but I am. And I get upset because I'm thinking about mortality obviously more. And I'm like, I'm so angry and sad that my mom will never be at my wedding, will never go wedding dress shopping with me, will never go to a premiere. And I wonder, sometimes I get worried. I'm like, will my dad be able to be my date to a premiere? Because it's a dream of mine. I want to take both my parents. I want to take my brother. I want to take my nephews. I want Uncle Yehi to come with me. I just spit. But I think that when I'm freaking out about that stuff, and I'm like, oh, like, can I even be an actor? Like, am I ever going to be a mom? Like, well, I need to have a baby now so my dad knows my children. And I think all of these things, and J-Dog will always be like, these are all valid feelings. And he goes, but this is what we're going to do. You're going to be a mother, and you're going to be an awesome mother. And when you have auditions and when blah, 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 we're going to work it out. You're going to text me and we're going to rearrange. If you need to have someone come to the house and I need to come home and work from home, or you need to, like, we talk about it now as if I have a child now. Which, girl, why am I borrowing that trouble right now? I don't know. But J-Dog knows me very well because he likes to talk through what we will try to do. And he talks about all the options we have. Like, he's like, there are so many ways to make this happen for you. And it's still going to happen for you. And you'll never stop being an actor. And you'll never stop podcasting just because you become a mom. We will have to rearrange how we do things. And it is so important. And I find so much peace in that now. And also because I believe him, because J-Dog shows me now that he will bend over backwards to help me get a tape done, even though he is not the best reader on this planet. But you know what? Sometimes he shows up and shows out. Like before I went to set for Murdaugh, and I had that huge movie audition it was a comedy movie. I was so pumped for it. And I spazzed out so hard because I was like, I have to get to bed at a certain time so I can be ready for Patty tomorrow. And he just was like, yeah, cool. We'll get you to bed at this time. Let's go in there. And I couldn't remember my lines. And it was so many lines. And, you know, comedy is quicker. So you have to know your lines. You cannot be thinking about them. And he worked with me so gently and got me to a point where I was just busting these like scenes out. And I'm just saying all this to know that like that I feel very blessed in that way, but I could not agree with you more. I think my dream, if that's how it feels now sometimes without kids, I can only imagine how hard it's going to be when I am a mom. So having someone who encourages me and who talks those things through with me, even as I have my freakouts, that's even important. You most certainly need to be very sure that your partner understands that you're a full human with full desires and passions. And you also need to understand that about them. I think that's something that we don't hear enough from people who are married, honestly.
But sometimes too, people
They don't know.
Well, yeah. And I think marriages or partnerships of the domestic variety are important just in some ways, if that's what you choose to do. But I also think that it might be more important to have friendships that are supportive in that way, because I think fulfilling friendships in a lot of ways can fill me up to conquer things that maybe like my marriage can't. I'm not saying that to be disparaging to Matt. I love him. He fills me up. He's so kind and caring, and he's so supportive of me, and he's so there, present. He's a good partner. He's a good man, Savannah.
He is a great man.
But friendships can give me that same sort of like feeling of I'm going to work this out, or we're going to work this out togetherness. Mm-hmm. That is equally as important.
Especially as a woman, I'm not a man, so I don't know what their friendships are like. But what you're saying, I think, is another thing that maybe some people tell you, but I think that your girlfriends, your friendships, your female relationships, or other women in your life is so important, because there are some things that your romantic partner can't do for you. I think with friendship, like just kind of what we were talking about that other week, where we were talking about how it's important to have like other adult women in your life as a child, not just your mom, but like aunts, your mom's friends, that sort of thing. Like how viewing girlhood and relationships is so important. I think when they say it takes a village, I think that means everything. Like, I think that means aunts, uncles, grandmas, but it's also friends.
It's hard to expect your romantic partner, like, again, like your domestic partner, to fill every single bucket for you, because, for instance, I would never expect Matt to father me the way he's fathering our child. And I do think that sometimes, though, that those wires get crossed in some relationships. And so some people wind up mothering people they shouldn't mother, or fathering people they shouldn't father, in terms of like the dynamic of their relationship. So of course it'd be crazy to think that every single bucket that you need filled or that you need pouring into is going to come from one singular person. That's a lot of pressure on them. That's a lot of pressure. And the expectation is so high on them that it's almost as though they're going to fail no matter what, because they can't do that physically. Like, they physically and emotionally can't do that for you. It's going to burn them out as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, yes, of course, friendships are like, they're like so wildly important. And recently I was talking to my friend Morgan. We were discussing friendship a little bit, and we were talking about how there is a statistic that every 7 years you go through, for lack of a better way I'm putting it, like friendship breakups. Typically every 7 years there is at least one friendship that cycles out. And I didn't cite any reasons for it, whether it's like personal growth or like, you know, whatever, but I have found that to be so true. We've talked about that before too.
I was just about to say, it feels like, well, when you become a new person, you might not align with someone anymore. And Jessie always says this really, and I've needed a lot of support as of late, understandably. And Jessie has always said this, but I hear it in a new way now. And I think you've always meant it in the same way, but I only hear it in a new way because now I have this whole new perspective. But Jessie says, like, maybe they're just a fun friend. And like that, I think maybe I don't go through friendship breakups every 7 years, but I do rearrange what room my friends are allowed in. Are they allowed in, like, I know everybody's heard this, the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, you know what I mean? Like, your bedroom are your sisters, you know what I mean? And sometimes they start out in the bedroom and they're in your front yard in a few years, you know what I mean? Because they're just a fun friend, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
But it's distinguishing the difference is important for your heart, I think, in your mind, but also appreciating both of those different types of friendships and understanding what they are.
I think reevaluating that in the sense of who's allowed to know what about you or what room they're allowed to be in with you too goes back to something that I do reference often, which is when you're in a big group or when you're in a space with other people, a friend to everyone is a friend to no one. And I do believe that, because the person who's sitting in the room who has no convictions or no loyalties to anyone else, meaning that they are just a friend to everyone because they don't want to put their foot down to be loyal to someone. I'm like, no, you're a friend to no one.
Yeah.
And that person is also for me like a front lawn friend, where I'm like, I'm having a barbecue and I'd love for you to come and giddy up with me, but when I move it inside,
you're going home.
It's
closing time.
You gotta go home.
Yeah. I think it's important to know the difference, and it's important to keep your head on a swivel and reevaluate. And by the way, being a friend to everyone doesn't mean like,
I'm not talking about being nice to everyone.
Yes,
I'm not talking about being cordial and kind. I'm talking about someone who says, hey, Jesse, I think Haley is a big old bitch. And I just go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you thought that. Instead of immediately going, okay, meet me outside. How about that? Because you're about to catch these hands. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. The difference
Or
of
who did you say that to just now? Reevaluate it.
Just that kind of, well, no, I wouldn't.
Because I would
literally
bestie.
say I'm gonna pop. But that's what I mean. Not like not being a friend to everyone in the sense of like everyone deserves kindness and they deserve like your congeniality to some degree. I'm talking about somebody who comes up to you and says something cray about someone that you consider to be a close friend and you don't stand up for it, or you don't
let
say
it happen,
or you don't. Yeah, you let it happen, or you don't shut it down.
Yeah.
Because then that person, I can't trust you in the future because you didn't stand up for me. You didn't squelch the rumor. You didn't say the thing wasn't true, or you didn't tell them to go back to the front yard.
Yeah, I think also trusting people to, when they're in a room and my name gets brought up or your name gets brought up, that you can trust that positive things will be said, or it won't. Because unfortunately, people's lives are interesting. I'll just put it that way. So people like to talk about people's lives, and it's really important to know that your friends who are in your living room, in your home at all, are the ones making sure that those conversations are positive. Yeah. That's so. Get out of my house.
Y'all know me. Y'all already know I come from a place of just.
She likes what's it called?
I gotta keep you arm distance until you can show me.
Wait,
we're
what's
gonna
the
be pals.
thing that you like? You like it was a funny word. Your uncle said it to you. You like?
Oh, I be altercating.
Yes, you be altercating.
Which, by the way, is a big symptom of ADHD that I didn't know until now. I'll be altercating because I have so many TV channels on in my brain and I wish I could turn them off, but when I altercate, it helps me shut them down. Should I get my therapist on this podcast to talk to you about what's in my brain? She would never.
Give me her number. I need to go to her.
God, she's amazing.
Yeah, I just think all of that is super, super important. And I think that Hilary Duff, bringing it full circle with her, she's showing all of those dualities, if that's the right word. That one just popped out of my mouth. But she's showing all these different sides of being a full-rounded human and still having a career, friendships, marriage, children. All that's really important, and it really inspires me. And also seeing Hannah Montana come back, and I truly believe that was like, I know it's not for me because it's 20-year anniversary, but when I saw that, I burst into tears because I was like, well, one, the first thing I thought of was like, when I loved Hannah Montana, when I was watching Hannah Montana, my mom was still alive. Because that's like what I think about everything. The last time I touched this light switch, my mom was still alive. I love doing that to myself. I don't know why. But it's also like, wow, I'm still okay. Like, I'm still the same person. Because sometimes now, after AD, I'm like, am I ever going to be the person? Am I ever going to have that energy again? Am I ever going to have the capacity again to care for everybody the way I did before? Because right now, it's not even like that I don't want to, because I do. I just have this much in my tank at all times, and my brain is so foggy. Yesterday, Jessie texted me, and she was like, okay, I'll be over at this time, and we're recording 2 podcasts this week. So she was saying that, and I was like, oh, is that going to be enough time? And it was clearly enough time. My brain does not fire right now. I'm cloudy at all times. And so seeing Hannah Montana come back, it was just like a rush of emotions, and this girl's going to be okay. The face of a girl who's going to be okay. Maybe not right now, but best of both worlds.
Also, sometimes too, getting a wink from the universe just to kind of give you a positive mood lift is enough to get you through the day or the week when you're going through shit like this. So
Right.
it's truly also like a nod to be like, you're going to be okay. But also like in the interim, here's something fun for you to focus on.
Right.
You know, that can just get you through the next 10 minutes or whatever.
And like for me, that was like a reminder of who I am. Mm-hmm. And when I feel so not like myself, it's nice to have those reminders. And there's a song that I put on all the time when I need to, like, it's on my pump up playlist, which I have a secret pump up playlist that has a lot of encouraging music, or just I listen to it every time I'm on the way to a film set. I listen to this playlist. It's a ritual for me. One of the songs on there is You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home from the Hannah Montana movie. And I would find out years later that it's written by my girl Taylor, which makes total sense. It sounds like it's her, but this song, I need you to go listen to it. It's from the Hannah Montana movie, Miley singing it as Hannah Montana. And that song makes me want to run through a brick wall. The same feeling when I hear Thunderstruck. I'm like, I could do anything. I'm about to blast off when I hear this song. So I need you to go listen to it. I don't know if it'll hit you the same way if you weren't a Hannah Montana girl, but it might just. It's one of those songs.
Listen, and with that, we're gonna let you go so you can go listen to that song.
Exactly.
So you can run through a brick wall. Please rate, review, subscribe. Please share this episode with a friend. Please put a helmet on before you do any brick wall running.
Before you put on AC/DC, Thunderstruck, or Hannah Montana, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home, written by Taylor Swift. I just think that's so amazing.
We will see you next Thursday.
Janine, take us home, sis. Ah!